strong.
Hey, Kaelin.
Hi, and welcome to Funny Minds. I'm your host, Lynn B., and we have my co-host.
Co-maniac over here, Mr. Edward Biss. How you doing, Kaelin?
And today we are going to welcome Kaelin Denton to our stage. Well, we don't have a stage; it's our podcast. And Kaelin is a voiceover actor. You're doing radio, right? You're doing a lot of radio. Are you doing TV commercials and stuff? So yes, welcome to the show. Excited to see you and talk to you and find out everything about you and put it out there for the fans. And hopefully you'll get even more. Oh, Eddie, where did you go? Eddie, you're missing. Come back, Eddie, come back. He'll come back. So Kaelin, tell me how you started. How did you get started and everything?
Well, I grew up listening to radio, as most people do. I was a big Radio Disney nerd, and Sirius XM. And it's funny, when I would go on road trips with my dad, he would always turn down the radio when the hosts are talking, and I always had to squat down and put my ear into the speaker. Like, no, I'm gonna listen. So fast forward, after college, I just didn't really, think much of it until one of my professors said, "Hey, maybe you should, get into radio," because I graduated in entertainment business. But,
okay.
I didn't think of communications and stuff like that. So, immediately after, I kind of did my research and started my own website, and from then on, this just kind of took off through, LinkedIn and a bunch of people surrounding my area and others around the world who kind of helped me with my craft, and seems some pretty good success so far. So.
You have a very
what would be your
voice.
Oh yeah,
thank
you. Very soothing. Like you could probably hypnotize people with your voice. That's another thing you could get into too. Hypnotizing people. No, I'm kidding.
We'll put them to sleep like this.
That's when you flash behind, all of a sudden behind Kaelin, you see just 25 hypnotized hot women. It's working, Ed. It's working.
From your mouth to God's ears.
He's like, it works, Eddie. It works. But no, honestly, yeah. I mean, just hearing your voice, obviously, you got it. What would be? I mean, there's so many directions to go in, and we've talked to voiceover folks before that do characters, they do commercials. What would be your avenue? What would be your preferred avenue to go down?
Well, right now it's just mainly commercials for me. I signed with an agent not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, and that agency, we really focus solely on auditioning for video games and radio and TV advertisements, which is like I said, a lot of my leeway. But mainly commercials. I've done some character work, not particularly a lot, but for the most part, just mainly corporate and podcasting like this, and
sure,
radio and TV. So
people don't realize how big the corporate market is.
Totally.
Voiceover work,
very big. Yes. Very, very big. We had another voiceover artist, Chrissy Hurst. I don't know if you've heard of her, and she does a lot of commercials too, John Deere and stuff like that. So. So, and do you have your own studio in your home, or do you
Yes,
go to
I
the
do.
studio? You do? Okay.
I'm in my room right now. I'm still kind of in transition phase. I'm still living with my parents right now, but I kind of built my studio from the ground up, really. I'm in my corner, right next to me right now is my bed. So, I just get up.
See, you would jump out of bed and go right into character.
Yeah. Get up every morning.
Great. I love
that. And just hop onto it. So,
and
that's awesome.
Went to North Alabama College, but I love Bama in football. My favorite football team. College football. Bama, gotta be Bama.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Kaelin may be an Auburn guy. You don't know.
I'm more of a Colorado fan.
See you. No, you deflected. You just Colorado. Oh my God.
Yeah, I love where they're doing.
Man. I have a cousin who goes there.
Okay.
Well, they live there, yeah.
Yeah, but she goes to Colorado, and they got obviously great school and a killer program. But I'm a big Dion fan. That was awesome.
Yeah.
To coach over there and everything. But I mean, you're set up right now. You're self-contained. You're just getting started. Other voiceover people that we've talked to get like the sound, like they invest in like sound booths and stuff like that. Is that something you may want to go down, or you just want to keep it where you're at now? Are you doing like Pro Tools software?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mainly mix and master through Audacity because it's
true.
it's one of the more it's one of the more efficient software that's kind of out there. I studied Pro Tools when I was in college, but I found it to be more difficult. It's easy to kind of sort of operate when you know what you're doing, but in terms of like efficiency and productivity, Audacity is really my mainstay. And
yeah, Pro Tools is I mean, it's like a Rubik's Cube of sound. Like you could go as deep as you want. So yeah, I could understand how it's not as plug and play as you like it to be. And you're getting started, you're getting cooking, and you want to get your work done quickly.
Absolutely, yeah.
Especially if you're on a deadline for a client, you just see
anything. Yeah.
Are
you doing anything, Kaelin? Are you doing anything in the ways of like some comedy? Have you ever done some stand up or character work or maybe impressions or anything? Or
well, I can't give away everything that I've auditioned for.
Okay.
NDAs and stuff like that.
Okay.
I do impressions.
Okay.
I do a lot of impressions, but mostly from stuff that I watch and stuff that I grew up on. So
okay,
kind of easy to sort of do those things. So.
Who's your big influences?
In terms of voice acting or like
just overall? Yeah.
Overall.
Who's your biggest inspiration?
Howard Stern.
Really?
Very prominent radio personality.
I didn't see that coming. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I love him.
Howard Stern. Yeah. Wow, there's so many I can't even pull from. There is a I'm a big fan of hip hop, so I have Sirius XM, satellite radio, and they unfortunately fired this guy around this time last year. His name was Jude Angelini. So he was a big inspiration for me. Sort of hip hop influencing through radio.
Is he on any other station? Did he migrate somewhere else? Or
last time I checked, he's doing like independent work.
Okay.
Through Patreon and YouTube and that sort of
okay.
And is that something you ever? Is that an avenue you've ever gone down, Kaelin? Doing some hip hop or anything?
Music, no. I did some managing and concert promotion briefly.
Okay.
With a band that I kind of connected with in college, but I didn't really suffice. It was just kind of, you know how it goes.
It was something different. It was another avenue to stick your foot in, right?
Yeah.
It's a crazy business, man. You know that. It's that whole scene is insane from the top down.
Mind you, doesn't he look like Eddie Murphy? Like Eddie Murphy. Has anybody ever told you that?
No, I get Usher a lot.
That would have to be a young
Usher? I don't
Murphy
know.
for you.
What?
I said you have to say a young Eddie Murphy.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'm not bothering him.
Oh,
Hair.
hell no!
Just all of a sudden, you just struck me like Eddie Murphy, like not the comedy end of it, but just you yourself,
Eddie Murphy is a big influence.
He's a good lots on everybody. You kidding me?
Yeah. I grew up on Shrek.
Yeah.
Shrek, I mean, I was a big fan of his stand-up back in the day because, you know, I was always a big stand-up guy. Like, I loved it. And my biggest influences back in my day were, like, you know, Rich Pryor, George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, you know, like those were.
Yeah, those guys were
just, those were the guys, you know.
I know.
And Eddie's so talented just across the board. Just with his voiceovers, his writing, his stand-up, his you name it. Hell, the guy could sing.
Yeah. I mean, not many people know that. He did a song with
Oh, do you remember? Do you remember that video? Party all the time, party all the time. I wish he probably wishes that would go. But yeah, actually, that's a very funny compliment to be called. You look like Eddie Murphy. That's an actual compliment, Kaelin. But I think really deep down inside, she's actually trying to pick you up. Is what she's doing. This is all.
He said that to everybody. Don't make that.
Kaelin.
Stop.
Like
Kayla's like, the old I look like Eddie Murphy line. Yeah, I fell for that one once before from the girl with purple hair.
Oh God, that's
like, what is it with all these purple-headed chicks coming on to me, man? What's up with this?
Man, purple is, you know, one of my influences as well. I mean, if you're not a fan of, you know, colors and whatnot, you know, then why even, you know?
That's right. And
with the glow,
purple, like where it's at. Purple is up.
And purple has, you know, like I said, influenced me. You know, I'm a big Prince fan. You know, who?
Oh God, yeah.
Love the purple, you know,
really?
this purple badness.
Yeah.
Gotta love the purple. Yes, gotta love the purple.
And one of my first industry jobs was for a documentary series on Peacock about you're probably gonna laugh, Barney.
Barney! Oh my God!
Yeah.
My girls love Barney. Eddie, I don't think you were really into Barney.
No, I'm a little too old. My kids were into Barney. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the girls were. Your sisters were into.
I was into like
Barney.
Sesame Street, but that's a serious gig right there. Peacock.
Yeah.
They.
I watch Peacock religiously. That's a great gig right there.
Yeah, it was. Barney was massive.
So what did you do? Like, you know, what did you do?
Well, you know, they saw my age. And well, I wish that was their sort of they wanted some narration, but you know they kind of decided against it. It didn't really work for the story they were telling. And I saw the opportunity. You know, contacted the director, Tommy Avalone, and you know we connected on that. And basically I did a lot of you know research and consulting because you know. Me being someone who grew up on that sort of content, they wanted to get an insight of, you know, what did, you know, people of that age like about it and, you know, what was so influencing and inspiring about that. And, you know, in the research department of things, it was more of, hey, can you look for this archival video? Because this is the 90s, so it's going to be very difficult, you know, to find these sort of tapes and stuff unless, you know, they're in the Smithsonian or you know, the Wayback Machine. And
you got to go in the time machine to get back to Barney.
Yeah. And a lot of it was, hey, do you think we should talk to this person or, you know, this writer or, you know, anyone who kind of either worked on the show or had an influence of that time. So.
Did you find anything? Because I don't really remember the whole thing, but at one point, there was a movement to ban Barney, but I don't remember why. Did you?
Yeah, we actually talk about it. It's there was a gentleman in Florida that you know his child was obsessed, like every other child was in that time, and he was just like, you know, I've had enough, and he sort of you know created this newsletter called what. It was, why is it blanking out of my mind? But anyway, it was just, you know, this newsletter that was, you know, published throughout the country to parents who, it was called the I Hate Barney Secret Society.
Well, that's being rather graphic. Okay.
Yeah. And it was for parents who, you know, were just so sick of that sort of programming. And, you know, at the end of the day, I think, you know, understandably, I can see why people don't like it, but at the same time, it's not for them. It's for bitty
kids. That's
bitty kids.
Really, it's for the kids. It's like, you know, Mr. Rogers got a bad rap, you know, at certain times on and off in his career too. You know, I'm sure everybody's taken a hit along the way, you know, one way or another, you know. I
Barney
like
was a
Bird, but what? Yeah.
well, yeah, but think of how huge Sesame Street was and is.
Oh, no, I know that.
Massive.
I know that. Oh, I know that.
A serious moneymaker, and I could obviously understand how parents, you know, being a parent, your kids get insanely obsessed. But at the same time, again, like you said, Kaelin, it's for the kids.
Right.
Get over it.
Right.
You know, when I was a kid growing up, I watched Bugs Bunny, right? Bugs Bunny.
Oh, I love Lily.
If you go back as a child, it's funny, it's great. But if you go back as an adult and you listen to the dialogue, it's very adult-driven humor.
Yeah.
Like those jokes were actually adult-level jokes.
Yeah.
But you're a kid and you just think it's funny as hell, you know. But it was pretty crazy stuff.
It is.
But again, my mom didn't go, "Oh, you're not watching Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny is, you know, like she's analyzing."
Oh, I love the bugs. I love them.
So, you know, you got to get over that.
Yeah, and I think we struck gold because a few months after we released it on the on Peacock, Mattel, who owns the property, and, you know, who owns Barbie and Hot Wheels, they announced
everything
franchise relaunch. So it was kind of like,
oh wow,
did they see the document? I think they did. Well, let's dig into our bag of tricks.
Snap them awake.
Yeah. So
wow. Well, that was a very interesting. That was an interesting project for you then.
Yeah. I'm very fortunate to do that, and they're looking for an impressionist. You know, sometimes they can do the voice.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Thank you.
So what are you working on right now? Are you allowed to say? I don't know.
Well, no. Some of them are NDAs, but a lot of commercial work. I did a audition for a very famous commercial character, food character, I would say, and that's all I'll say. So
please tell me it's Tony the Tiger.
Oh, I wish.
Please tell me it's Tony the Tiger. Oh, Kaelin, come on, bro. It's the come on.
Hey, great.
I love the tiger.
And all of a sudden, your bank account Venmo like $7. You're like, I like this.
And I got
it.
It's my brand.
800,000.
Wow, there's so many food characters. I mean, God. I mean, all right. Well, okay. Well, that's good. That's really good.
I do a lot of radio work. So the station I don't really work for. It's more like a come in, do a show,
freelance type of thing,
voiceover, and then leave. So
leave.
I do a lot of
as they need you, you just pop in, do what they need, and that's cool.
Yeah, okay. I had to had a conversation with the manager and the owner of the station the other day, because he last year we had the whole actor strike over the use of AI and stuff like that, and I kind of I sat him down because he uses that a lot for his commercials rather than use someone like me who does this living. I just kind of sat him down. I was like, hey, look, man, I don't appreciate you sort of using this technology knowing that I have the services that I can provide to you. Now, I told you this, since day one. And we're actually doing a veterans benefit concert in this area soon, and he made a commercial with it, and it was so
It was so lame.
It was like you can really tell it was like a robot's voice telling you about what's going on instead of someone like me saying, "Hey, come out for so and so and so and so this May 26th."
Right. There's no excitement in it, and yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I kind of sat him down. I was like, "Hey, man, if you really need something like that, come to me first." And
right.
But they'll learn. I think as this technology progresses, obviously we find benefit with it as well. But in that sort of regard, as someone who's really passionate about this, it's very hard and very tough to convince a person because this is our livelihood and this is how we make our money, and this is to quote Prince, this is art.
Right.
It's absolutely something that I fight for.
Well,
as a business owner too, you're trying to sell your business and you're trying to sell a product or you're serving it. And I'm sorry, but a robot can't sell that. A person has to sell that. Your voice is that voice,
right?
And that's the way they have to look at it. And when they start to lose that connection to their clients or potential clients, that's when they'll start to realize, oh my God, we've made a mistake. Right. We need help selling our services. This has been around since day one. And then all of a sudden we're going to pivot. You got to, the pendulum swings and you realize just because you could doesn't mean you should.
Right.
It's the same thing with us, Eddie. I mean, we're looking to, do media kits and do commercials on our podcasts. And, if we don't get the gig and do it, and it's only like a 30 or 60-second gig, that you're doing these commercials on your podcast. And if they're going to replace all of that with AI, it's just going to sound so dull. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to be able to put the excitement or, the passion into what's going on.
Right. It's the equivalent of
same thing.
Yeah. Yep. This is the equivalent of how movie studios hire celebrity A-list actors to do their voice work rather than hiring actual voice actors. And I get it. You want the name, you want parts of the seeds and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like, hey, maybe can we look at this
a different way? Yeah.
So.
I do use AI, but I use it in the respect. I use it once a week, and when I'm doing the write up for whoever's going to be on the show that week, and it helps me to take the English language and put it into perspective a lot better. But I could never think of, doing a podcast and using an AI voice to it. I mean, where's the realism in all of this,
Think of it this way. Could you imagine back in the day when, obviously, Kaelin, everybody has grown up with serious jingles that stick in your head forever and ever. Now, would that have ever happened if we had AI? Could you imagine someone singing the Burger King commercial? All the pickles, all the lettuce, special orders done up. Yeah, you can't AI that.
Yeah.
You can't AI Yo Quiero Taco Bell. You know what I'm saying? You can't AI that.
Taco Bell.
Where's the beef? Like, you can't AI. Where's the beef? You lose everything.
There's no.
It's art.
There's no emotion. There's no gravitas.
Exactly. No. I mean, they're looking at their bottom line, and I can understand that, but the bottom line is not going to grow. I mean, it might grow a little bit, but then when people realize, what is this? This doesn't, I don't like the sound. I don't like the look. I don't like what, then that bottom line starts to shrink. It's going to shrink,
And then they call Kaelin, and Kaelin's like, you can't afford me. Now you can. That's when you jack the rates, and you're like, "Oh, now you're coming to me.
Now you win.
Okay, triple."
And that's the problem. Like, I think they're more focused on saving money than actually creating something with people.
Yes,
right.
Work within that space, and I think it's going to be very interesting the next couple of years for that fight.
It is. I was talking to somebody in Hollywood recently, and they said that, most people are afraid of losing their jobs because of all the technology. And, they're not taking on a lot of new work because they're afraid of it. And, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you've got a good thing, you've got to go with it. And I understand there's a use for AI in a lot of areas, but I don't think in those areas that it's the right way to go, where you're replacing a person. Technology has replaced a lot of people over the years, in a lot of different instances. But on the back end, you still need somebody there to manage everything and to look things over and, stuff like that. So you can't eliminate the human population completely. It just, otherwise, then we just need one big machine and we become machines. And, there you go. We're an iRobot.
Yeah.
And that's,
I mean, there's some benefit, to it over the years. Like my dad, he works in tech right now, but one of his first starting jobs, he worked for Xerox, and Xerox created Siri. Not many people know that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I told my friend this the other day. He was like, "No, that's," and it was like, "No, it was a software that they kind of tested out. It was efficient at the time, and Apple bought it, and now it's on every single one of our products."
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't particularly like Siri. I never did. But that's beside the point, I think she's a bitch, and that's all there is to it.
She's giving you some tude, huh? I hate Siri. My Alexa gives me tude. And I have it out with her sometimes. I'm like, Alexa, listen, dude. If you don't play the song I just asked you, I'm going to unplug you. And she's like, whatever, punk. I'm like, and I have this back and forth with a goddamn machine. And I'm like, and my dog's looking at me like, who are you talking to? I'm like, that round thing.
When that first came out on phones, and I didn't have it on my phone, and one of my employees did, and I said, give me that phone for a minute. And I started asking it, so how often have you had sex? That doesn't compute. I can't answer that. I was asking all kinds of crazies. He's like, give me that phone. Yeah.
Can you beat somebody to death with a banana? Be honest. I would mess. I would guess Siri would just hang up on me like, I'm not talking to you. Bye. Click.
That's inappropriate. I was told this.
It's inappropriate.
That's inappropriate behavior.
Poor Kaelin is like, who are these maniacs?
Yeah, really? How did I get involved with these people?
I'm going to New Jersey.
We got to step you up, Kaelin.
Oh, this is great.
Crazy purple-headed people. That's awesome.
But no, I mean, I understand, where you're coming from. I support you. I support the actors. I support, all the people in entertainment. It's really very important. It's very important to us as people, even
as consumers.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. I want to be sold. I want to get excited. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's good to fight for stuff like that, especially in this industry.
Oh yeah.
Like right now, I'm really big on censorship right now. Like the whole movement of the MPAA or the FDA of I get why certain things are meant to be censored. Like you don't want to talk about this specific race group. Like you obviously don't. This is wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to be careful.
Or this specific religion and stuff like that. But in terms of what you say or a particular subject outside of those things, it's kind of hard to carry a conversation, especially over radio or podcasting in particular. And I kind of learned that from watching. I'm a big South Park fan as well.
Kenny.
In that original movie, they covered that. They were like, hey, your kids are going to watch stuff like this, and you can blame the people who make that sort of content, but at the end of the day, you got to blame yourself for putting your kids onto it or allowing your kids to watch that sort of thing. But
I did. I bought the game or something, or whatever it was. My girls wanted it, and we didn't tell their father. It was a secret that we kept. But I mean, they were into it, and it didn't bother me. So, you know, it was okay. Our platform does not involve religion and politics. I think it's two areas that people can never agree upon, and I'm not going to sit and, you know, this is an uplifting podcast, so I want people to be happy and, you know, and talk about themselves, talk about what they do, and, you know, they can have whatever kind of opinions they want, and I accept that, but a lot of people won't accept, you know, I'll accept other people's opinions, but they won't accept mine, so I don't want to get into it, you know, I just want to... It's rough, yeah.
That's another.
It is. Censorship it's an interesting
it is
area to discuss. It's tough when it's whether it's TV, radio, podcast,
right, all right, and even
just
when we
internet, you know.